Thank you, Tanaz, and thank you for the belly Bollywood and the bachata. I had my camera off, but I was really sort of getting into it. Thank you so much. So now take a breather, get your journal or a notebook because I'm going to introduce Ejiro and she will take you through the next half an hour and it's all about smashing your short-term goals by staying accountable. And just to give you a little bit of background, Ejiro, she is the lead at Mixi Auto Books Limited, where they produce and sell audiobooks for African authors. She's a budding accountability coach, a sound engineer, and a singer. Her mission is to inspire others to be more. And she does this via her various expressions. And I know with Ejiro, she's been involved in our retreats and has been amazing in terms of doing vocal coaching and getting us to breathe. And she's done quite a lot of work for Women Talk as well. So thank you, Ejiro, for joining us. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Over to you, Ejiro.
Thank you. Thank you. So exciting to be here. Yes. Good morning, everybody. It feels great to be here today. This is such an amazing time. Thank you, Helen, for putting this together. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Paz. Thank you, Tanaz, and all the other facilitators from across the globe. It's so amazing. Just see, it's just great to see things from the bright side. You know, I know how difficult it could be this season. But I mean, look at how we're enjoying ourselves right here. You know, look at how we're connecting right here. So it's always great to always look at the bright side and see what's possible, even in the midst of impossibilities. So thank you all for being here. For everyone who is online, thank you for joining us. All right, so yes, thank you for that introduction. My name is Ejiro, and I'm happy to be here. So today we're talking about smashing your short-term goals by staying accountable. I love this quote that I have here. It says, responsibility equals accountability, which equals ownership. You know, a sense of ownership is the most powerful weapon a team or an organization or a person, you know, can have. All right. So talking about smashing your short-term goals. Yeah. Why short-term goals? Because I mean, it's great to have big goals. Like, I mean, by all means, dream big, but there is always a smaller version of your bigger dream, which is where you should start from. Otherwise, most times we just freeze knowing that, oh my God, this is so big. Where do I start from? So it's always great to write out the bigger goal, but then take out time to break those goals into short-term goals, which is like, you know, when it's more like when you're able to win little wins, the combination or the culmination of little wins is what makes the bigger win eventually. So it's always good for us to take it slow, one step at a time, one day at a time, and then grow into, you know, before you know it, you're looking back, I'm like, oh my God, look at where I came from, look at all the steps I've taken. So which is why I like specifically just want to say, you know what, let's break it down to the short-term goals, because if we're able to get a process to achieve our short-term goals, then it just kind of builds into those short-term goals are actually part of the bigger goals, right? So that's in the way of introduction. So what is accountability really? The Cambridge Dictionary says that accountability is the fact of being responsible for what you do and able to give a satisfactory reason for it or the degree to which it happens. So how much, like, what's your reason for doing what you want to do? You know, are you taking responsibility? Are you being in charge of your life? You know, that's what accountability means. So, and this, talking about accountability, there are different levels to it. You know, our government, the leaders need to stay accountable to the people. The people also need to stay accountable to their government to ensure that whatever there is a connection or there is a relationship there. But also, we also have it in the sector for work, you know, in the office space, bosses and staff and all of that. But I'm talking here, I'm going to focus it on you personally, you know, keeping yourself accountable. You know, so are you responsible? Are you taking responsibility for the results that you're having in your life? Yeah. So that's what accountability is all about. Am I taking responsibility? Do I have a reason? Do I know the reason why I am doing the things that I'm doing? Do I know the reason why I've even set the goals that I've set? So being accountable is knowing the things that you want to do, knowing why you want to do them, and then actually getting into action and doing them. Yeah. Another interesting definition from Todd Herman, a management consultant, says accountability is being willing to answer for the outcomes resulting from your choices, behaviors, and actions. You see, so you want to ask yourself, am I willing to answer for this? So if somebody asks me now, why am I doing this? Do I have a reason for it? It's kind of connected to a lot of things, because it's also connected to you being aware of who you are, knowing yourself deeply enough to say, okay, this is why I'm doing this thing. This is why I love this thing. And it's my passion for this sector or this particular thing that is making me go for it. Yeah. So you want to be accountable. You want to be aware. You want to have answers. You want to question yourself and have the answer. That way it becomes easier when people are trying to dissuade you from your goals, or trying to give you reasons that does not align with what you have set out to do. You are able to come out quickly to say, I really appreciate what you're saying and I really understand it. I kind of partially agree with you, but that's not the direction that I'm going. Okay, so this is part of being accountable. Even being assertive is part of being accountable to yourself. Okay, knowing that this is exactly what I want to do. Of course, feedback is good, but this is exactly what I want to do. This is how I want to go with it. There's that saying, like, be dogged with your destination, where you want to go, but you can be flexible with the vehicle, how you do it. That is flexible. Okay, so the method in which you apply, the method in which you use to achieve your goals or to stay accountable can be flexible, but your goals, the end, the end picture should be defined from the start, and you should stick to it. Yeah. So now, how do you stay accountable, especially as a person, to yourself, first of all? Because when you master yourself, then it's easier for you. It actually makes it easier for you to relate with other people, whether at work, whether in your relationships, whether in every area of your life, in your friendships and all of that. So it's easier for you to be able to relate to people because you've mastered yourself. So you know what gives, what tickles you, what downs you, what dampens your spirit. So when you do that, then you are able to set boundaries right with all the people in your life. So how to stay accountable? Number one is know yourself. Like, I can't overemphasize this. The place of self-awareness, the place of self-realization, and the sweet thing about knowing yourself, it's a continuous process. So it's not a one-off thing. You don't Google yourself up and say, oh yeah, now I know myself. No. There are things that you keep finding out about yourself as you go. But the thing is, you want to have a mindset of always being aware. Why am I doing this thing that I'm doing? Where am I coming from? What experiences as helped me make this decision? What experiences has defined my decision, has defined my lifestyle? So you want to be constantly aware and constantly reviewing that about yourself. So I'd like to ask you, have you carried out a SWOT analysis on yourself lately? I believe you all know what SWOT analysis is. You know your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Are you fully aware of them per time? Because these things change from time to time, from phase to phase, from different aspects of our life to different, from seasons to season. Let me say that. Okay. So are you constantly in check? In companies, they either have biannual check. For example, banks, you normally have twice a year when they shut down and say, okay, we need to do our accounts biannually. So twice a year. Do you have that kind of system set up for you? Do you review yourself? Do you carry out the SWOT analysis for yourself? Like, okay, if at the beginning of the year, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, these are my opportunities, and these are my threats. So you want to put a system in place. Maybe by probably quarterly could be a good place to start from. Yeah, 90 days. Quarterly would be a good place to start from. So you go and check your list of strengths. How many of your weaknesses have you worked on and added to your list of strengths? Because the reason of carrying out the SWOT analysis is to know this thing, but to also reduce your weaknesses, work more on your strength. Like, bloom in your strength, reduce your threats, and take up every opportunities that come your way per time. So you want to constantly have a review, from time to time. I mean, 3 months is a good time to a good place to start. But if you think like, because I think we're all different, we all have different personalities. For some of us, we are pa 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 tempo, so we pick up things fast. We are easily bored with being the same thing for a long time. So you might take to have a structure for monthly, right? Just review your strength monthly. Okay, what strength, what weaknesses have I worked on this month, or what strength have I honed, have I zone focus on, and just bloom in that strength. Yeah, so you want to carry out your SWOT analysis from time to time, just to keep check, and then you are aware of the things that you need to work on. You are aware of the threats, and so when you see them, you can have strategies in place to mitigate those threats. And then you are aware of the opportunity. So when you sight it, you're quick to pounce on it, right? So are you self-intelligent? That is, do you know your energy cycle? Do you know your energy cycle and how to re-energize? Your energy cycle talks about, or mentions about how the best time, how the period where you're peak, you're at your best, you're alert, you are energized, you're like on top of your game, you feel like you're on top of the world, you feel like, oh, I can do all things, I am strong, I am beautiful. It doesn't always happen, not all the time. There are times that you're like, what, I don't know what's going on with me. I feel like I haven't done anything, I haven't achieved anything in my life. Oh my God. There are those times. But if you know your energy cycle, you are able to spot when those down times are coming, and then you're able to work out things that will re-energize you. Does it mean you have to go on a retreat? Does it mean you have to take time off to go on a vacation? Does it mean you have to pick up a new skill? Because for some of us, we are so up-tempo that if we get anything that is active, I'm using myself as an example. So if I'm involved in anything that is active, it kind of boosts my energy level. Yeah. So every time I feel down, I want to do something that just kind of get me out of that down space quick, so that I don't stay there. Okay. So you want to be aware of that. Knowing yourself involves that, knowing when you're down, when you're up, and all of that. Yeah. So, and then what works for you to re-energize yourself, how Stella got a groove back. You have to know how you get your groove back. Yeah. Up your time management skill. This is an issue I believe most of us deal with. So we want to always update ourselves on tips or on methods for us to manage our time well. Does it mean setting an alarm for every task that you have? Would that help you? Does it mean that you have to write down your to-do list a week before? Does it mean that what works for you? What works for you? You have to try a couple of things to be able to know exactly what works for you. And sometimes the same thing that works for you this month might not work for you next month, because some things change in our lives. So that means we have to stay adaptable. We have to stay adaptable to be able to change as the flow goes. So how well are you managing your time? Have you mastered the art of prioritizing your to-do list? You do the things that are most important first, and then move on to the things that are less important. These are skills that you need to pick up along the way. They're not one-off. It's your life, yeah? So you keep updating and keep getting better at it. And then, oh no, how do I go back? Oh yeah. And then the third thing is that I'm going to talk about is be open to feedback. You know exactly what you want to do, right? And you have planned out your path to it. But then it's okay. It's actually very necessary and very helpful to ask for feedback as you go. How often do you ask for feedback from those closest to you? How often do you say, how am I doing? Am I better at this? Do you think I need to reduce this? Am I too much? Am I too quiet? You need to check for feedback, which is great, especially from people that are very constructive, that will tell you what it is, or and they're always supportive of you. So it's good to always get feedback. I mean, you can even recently I carried out a personal feedback form, and I sent to friends, and the feedback have been amazing. Like, wow, okay, this is great. Now I know some things that I need to work on, some things I need to improve, and some things that I'm not even like, I know they're there, but they're not in my they're not for to me. Like, but people notice that about me, and now I am more aware of it, and so it helps me probably do more of it or fine tune it to even make it better, to give more value. Right? Okay, moving on. What I press, what I press. Okay, all right, yeah. So now we've talked about accountability, and because we're talking about smashing your short-term goals by staying accountable. What are goals? Your goals are the things that you want to achieve within within a specific time, with a specific aim. Yeah. So you want to set your goals. We want to set your goals to be smart. Yeah, I believe we all know what smart are. I'm sure some of us also know what smarties are. So I'm just kind of refreshing your memories here. So to make being accountable worth your while, you have to ensure that your goals are properly set. Are your goals specific? Do they have a certain specificity? Oh my goodness. I need to do some warm up. But yeah, are your goals specific? Do you just say, oh, I want to lose weight this month? How much weight do you want to lose? You be specific about it. I want to lose 10 kg in the next 3 months. And then you're able to measure when you know exactly where you're going. All right. Are they measurable? Wow. You just followed. Are they measurable? If they're specific, then it's easy for you to measure it because you then know, oh, I've done it well, I've not done it well. Are they attainable? Are they achievable? You can't just wake up one morning and say, okay, this month I want to make $500,000. If you haven't even started making 100,000, okay, that's too big. It's achievable, yeah, but for you at that moment, it is not. So you want to ensure that your goals are achievable. Not that they are within your comfort zone, but you could stretch your goals should stretch you, but it shouldn't stress you. Okay, it should stretch you, but it shouldn't stress you. Just a little bit tougher. Let's say you want to do workouts and you're always, let's say you're right now, you can go for 10 push-ups. You want to set a goal for yourself and say, okay, my goal for next month is to now extend this 10 push-ups to 15. That's a goal. All right. And then you master that and then you increase it. Okay. So measurable, attainable is realistic. You don't want to do anything that is out of this world that doesn't make sense. I mean, there are the exceptions. Yeah, there are people who are so vivid in their imagination. They're like, this is what I want to achieve, and they actually achieve it. But that's an exception. So you want to make your goals realistic. You want to make it time bound, saying at so time is when I want to achieve this goal. And then the IAS is you want to look within you, your introvert, environment. You want to look within. What do I need to do to be? Who do I need to become to be able to achieve this particular goal? Do I need to pick up a new skill? Do I need to do a new course? Do I need to meet new people? Do I need to cultivate new friendships? Do I need to make new connections, in the business world? Do I need to network more? You're looking within to say, okay, what if all of this depends on me? What do I need to do to be able to achieve this goal? And then your environment is also important because you can't have negative people around you always. They're going to pull you down, even when you're not consciously listening to them. If you have negative people around you, they're going to seep through your mind. So you want to also be conscious of your environment and ensuring that you only have positive people. Be selective of your inner circle. People that have access to your mind, the kind of things you listen to, the kind of music you listen to, the kind of things you see. You want to be very selective that they are not going into your subconscious and causing havoc, right? And then are your goals sustainable, or the process in which you want to use in achieving those goals? Is it sustainable? Are you able to sustain it? Are you able to say, okay, I want to read a book in a month, and then you say, so every night I'm going to read 4 chapters. Is that sustainable? Are you able to sustain that? Or do you need more time? Do you need to give yourself more time to be able to achieve that goal? Yeah. So I hope I'm making sense. I can't see the chat, so I don't know if you guys are following, but I hope it's making sense to you. Next is now your short-term goals. Now you have setting your goals. So you could use that Smarties as a method or as a model for setting your bigger goals. And then now you break it down to smaller goals. So let's say, for example, your bigger goal is to be the managing director of your company at the end of, let's say, 5 years, because probably your company has a ladder or a time frame in which they grow in the company. Or should I use a more personal thing? Okay, let's say as a personal person, you want to be known as the go-to person for yoga, for example, and you've just started your journey now. So you want to give yourself, let's say in the next 5 years, I want to be, when they're mentioning the name of top yoga instructors in my area, in my city, my name must be in the top 5. That's a big term. That's a big goal. That's a long-term goal in 5 years' time. So what do you begin to do from today to move you closer to that goal? That will be your short-term goal. So do you want to say, what am I going to be doing? How do I want to break it down? What am I going to be doing yearly, every year? What are the marks that I need to benchmark, that I need to put for myself every year from where you started to that time to be able to say, this is where I'm going and this is where I want to, get to, right? So you want to have that goal set. You want to have your benchmark for the year. You want to have the benchmark for 6 months. You want to have the benchmark for 3 months, for monthly, for weekly, and then daily. So you want to break it down. So your shortest term goal are, what are the routines? What are the things you do on a daily basis that pulls you closer to that bigger goal? You have to start from now. You have to start from your day. You have to infiltrate it into your day. You have to add it to your to-do list of every day, right? And then commit to your goal. Commit to your goals by combining them with your accountability tools. So we talked about earlier how, to stay accountable, knowing yourself, managing your time well, and getting feedback, which are not the exhaustive list. It's just the 3 that I felt would resonate more. There are more how to or things that you can do to keep yourself accountable. But then combining that with your breakdown of short-term goals, of your goals now into short-term goals, because you know yourself, you know your strengths. So you are aware of the things that in this goal, like say in this goal that I want to achieve, what are my parts in it? What are the things that depends on me in it? Where do I need others to come in? You are aware because you know yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your opportunities, so you know exactly where you need help. And that would help you stay accountable. So you know, okay, I need help with time management. So do I need to enroll for a time management course, or do I need to get somebody who I know, maybe a friend of mine who I know who is great with timing, to tell the person, you know what, please keep me accountable. Every day I want to do this. Check up on me every day to ensure that I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. So sometimes even when you have all the tools, you still need all the tools you need and know what you want and what you need to do. Yes, you get overwhelmed. Like, oh, there's a lot on my to-do list. How am I going to cope? How do I continue? How do I do this? And sometimes, because it's just you, it's easy for you to say, you know what, I've tried. I said I was going to do 15 push-ups. I did 9. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm good. I've tried. I mean, there are places for that. There are times when your body is telling you, yes, you need to rest. But if it becomes a norm, then you're going to shortchange yourself because you won't get to your final destination. All right. So because of that, sometimes we need an external force. We need to invite an external force to help us to stay accountable. You need somebody that is going to tell you, no, this is not what we agreed on. This is what we agreed on. So you are doing it. Somebody who's going to be strict with you, somebody who's going to sit on you. And so sometimes it's okay to ask for help in that area. It's okay to have that person in your life that keeps you accountable all the time. Okay. And then quickly, so an accountability. So who is an accountability partner? If you need an accountability partner, for example, is that person that helps you stay on track with what you set out to do. It's not, the accountability partner is not in their place to tell you what to do. You already know what you want to do. You just need help with carrying it out, or with staying through with it, or with going ahead with it. So your accountability partner could be your best friend, could be your spouse, could be your mentor, just somebody who is invested in you, who sees your dreams, who understands your dreams, and who is willing to put in their time and their resources to ensure that you achieve those goals. So he or she would help you reduce the tendency of coming up with excuses of why you don't want to do what you want to do, or you want to push it to later and say, oh, you know what, I'm so tired today, I could just do it tomorrow, right? But if you have an accountability partner who checks on you, is like, I know, but you know what, just do it. You are good at this. You know. Can you see? This accountability partner is going to keep pushing the goals in your face. Can you see? You see where we're going? We are like 10%. If you miss today, you miss 1 more percent to get closer to your goal. Yeah? So your accountability partner keeps you in check. All right? So stay accountable, guys. Stay accountable. If you can do it on your own, boom, power to you. Go, girl, power, go for it. But if you know you can't, it is okay to ask for help. All right. Also, ensure who should your accountability partner be. Ensure that when choosing your accountability partner, is somebody that you respect and listen to. Please don't go choose somebody that you can tell, hey, please, can you leave me alone? Please. Is it your goal? Is it your goal? It's my goal. So please, you want to choose somebody who you respect, somebody who you listen to. Yeah. You want to ensure that the person is assertive, not somebody you try to negotiate with and try to bribe and say, oh, I will do it tomorrow. Don't worry. And then the person will be like, are you sure? Okay. No. You want to choose somebody who will say, no, that's not our agreement. We'll stick to our agreement. Yeah. And you want to be fully committed to your end of the deal by getting, getting to work when this person tells you this is what you're supposed to do. It's time for this, and you get in to do it. All right. I think my time is well spent. Thank you so much. Any questions? My name is Ejiro Sakade. You can follow me on social media at Ejiro Sakade. That's my website. That's my email address. Any questions? That would be a good time to ask.
Thank you so much, Israel. Your energy is infectious. Honestly, I can understand why people would want you to be the accountability partner, because there's no getting away.
No, not on my watch.
Thank you so much for your session. And I really love the questions that you had, and I hope that people were able to write down some of those questions, because they are key. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves some tough questions, and I think that's really, really good that you did have those on there, especially knowing yourself as well, which is quite important. The recording is still ongoing because I've just been updated by other women who can't access it, because we've got people coming from Uganda, Kenya, and actually they've got
light out, yeah.
Lights out. But everything's being recorded, so it's great that you've actually done this session with us as well.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Welcome. We've got your